You're writing a book, and I am a book coach. Our company has published more than 50 books, and I'm here to answer your questions. My name is Elizabeth Ann Atkins, co founder of Two Sisters Writing and Publishing. So excited that we just published our 50th book, and I am thrilled to be here. I love to teach and share all that I know, and I am here for you. So today I'm tackling a really big question that I get all the time. How can I make sure that my book is a bestseller? Huge question because you put in all this work and you really want it to touch the people, reach the people that you intended it for. And you also want to earn a return on your investment for all that you invested into the process with all your resources, time, energy, money, and your creative genius. So let me talk about how to make your book a bestseller. It starts way before you start writing. Typically, the most successful books that we've published here at Two Sisters Writing and Publishing are the ones that people have been told you should write a book, that you have a fascinating story or you have a fascinating expertise. And when people are telling you you should write a book, that's clue number one. Secondly, um, whatever questions people ask you a lot, questions about your expertise, questions about your story, how you live, how you've overcome things. Those are the questions and answers that you can provide to your readers. That's what piques people's curiosity the most. Third, it's never too early to start promoting. So I'm going to talk about promoting a lot. But as you're in the conceptualization phase of your book idea, please do some research to explore in the book marketplace, which is so easy to do now online. See what other books are out there that might be similar. Do not be discouraged if you see other books that are similar because nobody is you. You are unique and your book will be unique as a result. But the goal here is to establish what is unique about you, your messaging, your content, your expertise that is not being explored in the marketplace. Where is there a void and how can you fill it? That will help you stand out from the rest of the masses of books that might be on your topic. So start with that research and then understand your why. Why are you writing the book? You have to answer that why for yourself and just be brutally honest. If your why is you think you're going to get rich from your book, go for it. If your why is that you want to touch and possibly save lives with the story and content that you're sharing, go for that. If your book is to build your brand and boost your business because you're sharing an expertise on a topic that is unique and that you have perhaps some secret formula for success that people can use in whatever endeavor you're describing, go for it. The sky is the limit when it comes to you writing your book, and it's never been easier to do it yourself or to find a service like we have, Two Sisters Writing and Publishing, which is a one-stop shop boutique experience where we provide all the services of publishing to get you onto a global platform. And we use Ingram Spark, which is part of Ingram Books, which is one of the biggest book distributors in the world. So let's talk about how to write and publish a best-selling book. You have to be super passionate about your topic. You have to be really obsessed with making this happen because writing a book is hard. You might start off gung-ho, but then you might reach this sort of overwhelm where a lot of authors get stuck and don't know how to proceed. Too much information. Should I go this way or that way? And you just get lost in the forest. And as a result, give up writing the book. That's why I'm a book coach, and my specialty is to help people get clarity on what to focus on in the book, as well as what to include. I like to compare it to a mountain of material, stories, content, statistics, photos, whatever you have. And you can't see anything but this mountain of stuff. Whereas I have the X-ray vision as a book coach with my experience of writing and publishing 50 books. Seeing that beautiful sculpture within that sculpture that's your book. So I help you chisel away and break up all the blocks and the bricks and the boulders that are stopping you from having that clarity. And then we write an outline together. And then that's the aha moment. I see it all the time in the people that I coach when they're writing their book. They're like, oh my gosh, I get it now. I see it. And in the magic creative synergy that happens when I work with people, or this sort of explosion of creativity happens, and the book title will pop out for people who don't have one yet. Ideas for what direction to take the book, new ideas for promoting. It's amazing. It's wild. So you have to be super passionate and obsessed and get help if you need it. So then you have to strategize some time to actually do the writing. We're all super busy and it's very easy to blow it off. It's summertime right now in the Northern Hemisphere, and that makes it super easy to say, I want to enjoy summer. I want to go outside. I want to hang out, all that stuff, but your book won't get written. So there is a degree of sacrifice of the fun. I do it all the time, but the result is the amazing feeling that you're actually getting the writing done. My next book is called The Bis Tribe, Activating Your Goddess Power. And I have spent many weekends here at my desk, not going out because I want to get my book done. So really exciting. So then another thing to consider is as you're writing and you create an outline for your book, make sure you include answers to all the questions that people are asking or the stories that people most ask you about or that you find yourself telling all the time. Chances are you have some stories that just are your go-to at a dinner party or a gathering that you share with people you just met that are your sort of signature stories. Those must go in the book, and you can probably recite them in your sleep. So that's super easy, but make sure you include those. Now, as you're writing the book, it's really important when you write a bestseller, you need to strategize your publishing date. If you're working with one of the big publishers, you might not have the freedom to do that. But if you're self-publishing or working with a hybrid publisher like us, you have the ability to select a publishing date that will be media friendly. So if your book is about motherhood, you should publish it for Mother's Day because the media is looking for angles to focus on, and all the people on social media are doing the same thing with hashtags for Mother's Day. If you're writing a book about Father's Day, same thing. If you're writing a book about something really relevant to your own personal story, so for example, perhaps you survived cancer and you were declared cancer-free on June 15th, that should be your release date because it's a special day of celebration for you. And you can share that in your media interviews, and that will resonate with a lot of people because those dates are precious. They're near and dear to you and all the people who love you. So that's one tip that you should follow is select a pub date that's going to be media friendly and social media friendly so that you can use the momentum of that day and all the spotlights that shine on it to promote the book. Secondly is it's never too early to activate your networks. One of our authors, Joni Lindenmeyer, author of the best-selling book, None Better, An Amazing Love Story, she literally made business cards that said, I wrote a book. And she sent it out to all her friends and gave it to strangers. And it announced her book is coming and said, stay tuned for March 2023 when the book was coming out. And so she did that. And our best-selling authors all have this in common. From the moment they know their publication date, they email, text, call, post on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, everywhere, they post and write and outreach about their book. Just a blurb to all their friends, family, colleagues, associates, saying, my book is coming out on such and such a date. Here's what it's about. I'm so excited. Please stay tuned for more. If you have a pre-order link, which is something that we provide to our authors so that people can pre-order the book and therefore invest and get engaged in the whole book release process in advance. Sending a pre-order link is the best way to have a call to action in your email, text message, phone call that you can follow up with a link in text or email, posting it on your social media, putting it as the link in your bio on your Instagram, providing the link on LinkedIn and Facebook. So yeah, really important. But the number one thing is activating your networks. But before you do that, you need to make a list. List all of your alumni associations, any clubs, organizations that you're part of, professional groups that you're part of, faith communities, neighborhood clubs, social groups, book clubs, anything that you're part of, because those can be a marketing machine for you. You send them your book cover, you send them your summary of the book and something that pertains to their particular audience. So, for example, I graduated from the Columbia University Graduate School of Journalism. So when I submitted something for the alumni newsletter, which is this huge email blast that goes out every month, and it's so full of news about all the grads based on our year, I put the year I graduated, and I tailored the message for my alumni peers about I'm a graduate, this is our company, we just published our 50th book, I co-host a TV show about mental health. So it was all with a journalism spin. And if you were writing to your alumni group, if it's just for your undergraduate degree, it might be for a particular school or college that you attended. If it was philosophy or accounting or business school, whatever it was, make sure you tailor the message to those folks. So here's how this is so amazing. When you contact all these organizations, they have websites, they have social media, they have email blasts, they have newsletters, they might have a radio station or even a TV show, and they can then promote your book and you on all of the above. So very powerful that they, first of all, have a large reach, which could be hundreds or thousands or even millions, who receive their emails or watch or listen to what they're broadcasting or printing, as well as what they might be posting on their social media. Secondly, it's not coming from you, it's coming from Harvard University, the American Heart Association, whatever organization or entity is blasting it out has that extra credibility. And so they're in turn endorsing you. So really, really important to first make a list of all your affiliations, alumni groups, business groups, fraternities, sororities, faith communities, anything you can think of. And even if it's a social group that maybe you have an email chain that you follow or text message group that you're in, whatever it is, just go for that. And secondly, the next layer of that is to explore those affiliate organizations that you're not a part of but are relevant to your book. So if your book is about bowling and you're not part of the National Bowling Association, just made that up, you need to reach out to them. Hey, I have a new book about how much I love bowling. Would you all like to feature it? Can I come to a tournament and do a book signing or speak? So just reach out, be bold, ask. If you don't ask, you don't get. So this is not the time to be shy. You can also, there's so much here. I want to just share. I want to get back to the book cover. You really need your book cover ASAP. That is a key promotional item that you need, and it helps to brand the book. People do judge a book by its cover, so your book cover should be phenomenal. So this is our 50th book. We just released it in time for Pride 2024. It's called Joyously Free: Stories and Tips to Live Your Truth as LGBTQ plus people, parents, and allies. I'm one of the authors, and I did it with our best-selling author, Joni Lindenmeyer, who's also the author of None Better, which was a bestseller because she just went wild promoting her book. And she continues more than a year later to promote her book with gusto across the country and world. So if you just check out this cover, we are so proud of it. We wanted something super cheerful and inspiring because this is a self-help book for people who might be scared and facing all kinds of rejection, disappointment, depression, rejection, trauma. And so we want it to be really happy looking. Of course, it has the rainbow colors for LGBTQ plus symbolism. This is beautiful font that's happy. We have this band of color that just picks up the turquoise in here. Super bright. Love the fun font. The back is a summary, and it also shows Joni's other book, my memoir, God's Answer is No, KNOW, Lessons from a Spiritual Life. The next book that we're doing is called Healing Religious Hurts, that comes out in October. And then here's the logo for our company, Two Sisters Writing and Publishing. So this cover, and look, it has even more colors on the side, and this is the book jacket. So we have a summary of the book on the interior jacket, and then we also have an excerpt on the back flap. So my point to you is that you need your book cover. You can send a text to people about your book, but then if they see, boom, all this color, ooh, what's this? It looks really happy and joyous. I want to look and see what this is. It's going to get their attention. So work with a graphic designer that is going to convey the ideas and images and mood and style that you think are relevant to your book and what you love. So it's a back and forth process. It's a teamwork endeavor. And Joni and I had a clear vision of what we wanted. And we worked with Deborah Perdue, who shared our vision and created it. There was tweaking. We had teams. We had our CEO, SEO person, Sean Smith, chiming in with his marketing expertise. We had, of course, my sister, Catherine Greenspan, our co-founder here at Two Sisters Writing and Publishing. With her input, we had Joni's sister, Gail, who's an artist, and she shared her opinions. And so make sure you get people's opinions, but make sure they're not frenemies or anybody who's drinking Haterade, because there are people out there who don't want you to succeed. They're jealous, and they'll steer you wrong just so they hope you fail. True, sadly, unfortunate that that's a fact. So just be careful who you invite onto your team. I'm going to talk about teams another day because you need a team to write a book and publish a book and promote a book. So your book cover. So next, another way to spread the word about your book and get pre-orders is blogging. Our author, Mort Meisner, who wrote Enough to Be Dangerous, which is his memoir, bestseller in hardcover, paperback, and ebook in multiple categories when it was released in October of, I think it was 2019 or 2020. I'm not sure. Maybe 2021. Anyway, it's phenomenal. Enough to Be Dangerous, bestseller. And what Mort did from 3 months prior to the publication date was he blogged every single week. He blogged on his website, which is his company, where he's a TV news talent agent. And he has a large network, of course, in media and friends and colleagues from his decades-long career, 2 careers as a rock and roll promoter, as well as a TV news director in big cities like Chicago and Detroit, as well as now as an agent. So he blogged every week, and in the blog, he told a story, and he also included an excerpt from the book, as well as a link to pre-order the book. So that was a 3-pronged approach: a personalized message. Like, why do you care about this book? Why should you read it? Why should you tell other people about it? Well, here's why. Then the excerpt in the book is so good. So these excerpts were like really juicy and like titillating. And then the link. So you want to have a call to action. What's the call to action? Order my book, invite me to speak, host a book signing at your restaurant, home, coffee bar, social club, country club, college or university, company, nonprofit, whatever is pertinent to your book. So don't be shy. But this outreach. Another important thing is to have some kind of online presence with a landing page. If you publish with us, we have a bookstore, and every author gets their own page that lists the book cover, a description that's short and a longer one, your bio, an events tab where it shows all of your book signings and events, as well as the ability to either pre-order it or purchase it. And so if you're self-publishing, you should have some kind of landing page or simple website where people can learn more about you and your books, see a calendar of your events, engage with you, link to all your social media, be able to easily share it with their contacts, and order the book. Okay, so while you're making this list of all your networks, think about if you want to speak. It's very advantageous if you're willing to be a speaker about your book. And again, in spaces and places that are relevant to your topic. So if your book is about sports, you'd want to contact sports media people, sports bloggers, sports podcasters, and fan clubs, and ask if you can have a book signing at that sports team's events. So contact the team. Say, for example, if it's about the Detroit Lions, you would ask the Detroit Lions if you can have a book signing at some event that they have and see if they would say yes. You never know if you don't ask. So what if you get a yes? What if it's bigger and better than you ever imagined? Go for that. Don't be scared. So email lists are very, very important. And when you have a website, you can capture emails by offering something free, like a PDF, an excerpt of the book, or some giveaway. Maybe you have baseball caps or coffee mugs with your book cover on them, and you have a giveaway, and you have to give us your email address if you're going to enter to win this free baseball cap or a book giveaway even. So that's very, very important. It's never too early to start building your social media presence. It's really important that you have that foundation so that when the book comes out, you can announce it, but you're going to be announcing it well in advance. But if you don't have any social media presence, you need to start now because it matters. And there are tons of readers online. So BookTok, BOOKTOK, that's a hashtag BookTok on TikTok is a huge place for readers and writers to meet and share and interact. And then also Instagram is a great place. Make sure you research the best hashtags to use for your book according to the topic. And just start now. If you're not savvy in social media, you really should hire somebody who is great at it. You can go to Fiverr.com or Upwork.com. There are lots of people for hire at reasonable rates who can assist you as your social media manager. Make sure you get somebody who you trust and somebody who gets your messaging so that they will create content accordingly. All right, let's see what else. I want to hear your questions about how to write a best-selling book. If there's anything I haven't covered, obviously it all starts with writing a great book, an excellent book. You can have a hot topic, but if you fail to deliver on the storytelling or the narrative or the writing, people won't like that. So make sure you do your story, your book justice by making it very well written. If you're not a good writer, you can find a ghost writer who will write it for you. You can also get a book coach like myself who will guide you through the actual outlining of the book, focusing your topic, fleshing out your chapters, deciding what to include and what not to include. All very, very important, and it's worth the investment. So, for example, if you pay a book coach to help you, they're going to create the best possible book for you. And were it not for them, you wouldn't have that. If you go at your own, you might not even finish and it might not be good. So it's worth it to invest. If you self-publish, very important, if you want to be successful, hire an editor, somebody you trust through word of mouth referrals that has reasonable prices and delivers the book back to you on time. Because if your book is not perfect in terms of punctuation, grammar, and anything that might have double meanings, in addition to the sensitivity factor, if you mean well, but you write something in a way that's offensive to communities that you're just not aware of, you could get canceled. That would be terrible. So make sure you get an editor who can not only do line editing, which means checking for punctuation, grammar, and just flow, but also somebody who has the culturally sensitive eye for what you're writing to make certain that it is not offensive to people. You can't please everybody and you need to say what you have to say, but if you want to make sure you're telling your story in a way that's going to be received well by people, then make sure you've covered those bases. So those are some of the ingredients for a best-selling book. Now, there are ways to categorize your book on whatever publishing platform you're using, and it's really smart to research all the categories that are available to you. We publish on Ingram Spark, and when we pick the subjects, there's 3 subjects per book. You can niche down as far as possible because that will create the smallest possible pool of competitors' books in that category. So, for example, if you just write your life story, your memoir, and you pick memoir, biography, autobiography on there, that's a huge category. However, if you niche down and you go to, I'm making this up right now because I'm not looking at all the choices, but biography / family / divorce, you're going to appeal to anybody who's looking for stories, books in that category. And secondly, there are probably far fewer books in that smaller niched down category than the big biography general category. So if you work with a hybrid publisher, or if you're self-publishing on Amazon, make sure you have a clear understanding of selecting the best categories for your book that will increase your chances for becoming a bestseller. Bestsellers are not determined on a set number of sales. They're determined on the number of sales in comparison to all the books in your category for that week or that day or that hour for that matter. So I want to hear more questions. I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins. I am America's book coach. I love guiding aspiring authors to write, publish, and promote a best-selling book. Please go to twosisterswriting.com and go to our book coaching page. Learn more about how I can help you write an amazing book. You can also visit twosisterswriting.com to see all the amazing books that we have published, including our 50th publication, Joyously Free, Stories and Tips to Live Your Truth as LGBTQ plus people, parents, and allies, written by me, Elizabeth Ann Atkins, and Joni Lindenmeyer. We are so excited for you to join us here at Two Sisters Writing and Publishing's YouTube channel, as well as on audio, if you're listening to this information right now. We want you to write an amazing book. You can do it. And all you need to do is listen to me. And every Friday, I go live with Joni on our YouTube channel, and it's now in an audio podcast format as well. And we've been going live for 11 months now, every week, talking about everything you need to know to write, publish, and promote your book. This is a high energy dialogue, and it's really fun because I'm the coach, editor, and publisher, and I coached Joni to write her book, None Better, in 5 months. We published it in less than a year. It became a bestseller. She was just here in Michigan for Motor City Pride to promote our book and sell it to excited people during Motor City Pride over the weekend. So that was amazing. And so you get to hear the perspective of someone who was coached, someone who wrote their first book, not being a writer, and then wrote a second book with me. And then our third book is, again, Healing Religious Hurts, coming out in October, which you can now pre-order at twosisterswriting.com. And so you get to hear the perspective of me, the coach, editor, and publisher, Joni as the student being coached, as well as now the best-selling author, and then now as writing a whole nother book. So very exciting. Please, again, visit twosisterswriting.com. Please leave me some comments. I would love if you could please subscribe here at Two Sisters Writing and Publishing on YouTube, and also follow, download, share, comment on the audio podcasts. And I want to hear your questions. What are your biggest questions about writing, publishing, and promoting a book? So please let me know, and I will look forward to seeing you. Meanwhile, I wish you happy writing.